So, Equestria Daily really think they know what the best songs of Season 6 are? Well, time for me to put my best hand forward. Season 6 has recently departed us, and while its quality defined this series' inconsistency for all to see, if there's one aspect that stayed consistent throughout, is its musical numbers. God damn it, Dan Ingram, you did it again, you magnificent bastard! Season 6's musical numbers are of such high quality that picking between them was a monumental undertaking, and after weeks of deliberation and hair-pulling irritation, I'm here with the second MLP musical countdown in the space of a year as I count down my 5 favourites of Season 6's 12 musical offerings. The rules are the same as the ones for the Season 5 countdown. No Equestria Girls songs, no songs under a minute long, and 1 song per episode. Now in lieu with the last 2 musical countdowns this channel has done, I'll be speaking over the songs to avoid a possible copyright strike. So if you want to hear those songs in their entirety, click the symbol down there in the bottom right corner to go to a video where you can. And if you end up complaining that you can't hear the music, don't say I didn't tell you because, yeah, I just did. Finally, remember that this is a list based on my subjective opinion, so please don't complain if a favourite of yours isn't on here. Go make your own list. Right, now that's all out of the way, let's begin.
What's happening to you? My spirit of heartwarming present sense is going off. That means that song is coming on.
Choosing the number 5 entry for this list wasn't as difficult as the one for Season 5's countdown, but it may come as quite a surprise to some of you which one I ended up picking, considering the strong competition it had. And sure, it may be difficult for me to explain, but just hear me out.
Can't we go any faster?
Faster? Don't be silly. This is perfect.
I know many of you are screaming like Apple Bloom was there. How the hell could I justify putting Derby Racers on this list? Well, while the song's ensemble chorus reeks of the smelliest of cheeses, a stench which hasn't left since airing, and its individual parts aren't that spectacular on their own, once you put them all together in an up-tempo, cheery song, I really have a hard time finding a reason to really complain about it. Driven by a guitar and mandolin combo that highlights its whimsical nature, the verses provided by the CMCs, Rarity, Rainbow Dash and Applejack are, alongside the chorus, pure earworm levels of catchiness, while the instrumentation remains restrained to allow the vocals room to breathe. The visuals coupled with it are fun and the most vibrant of the episode, while the pure comedy of selfish and irritated moods of the characters are reflected in equal measure, visually alongside their audible counterparts. All in all, if there's one word to describe this song, it's fun. And while the other songs in this season are better musically than Derby Racers ever will be, it was that fun factor that turned an otherwise forgettable shoehorned song into one that I can't stop listening or singing along to. And while its placing may seem completely unwarranted, thanks to the rules I put on myself and a sheer force of goodwill and catchy magnetism, this song finishes its race in 5th place.
My spirit of heartwarming present sense is going off. That means that song is coming on.
Picking a song from a heartwarming tale. Now there's a gargantuan task that even a UN peace envoy couldn't resolve. Heartwarming Eve is here once again, is anthemic gold, Pinky's Present was fun as hell with its jazzy vibes, Say Goodbye to the Holiday was dark and scintillating, and as for Luna's Future, well, in my opinion, that was the worst song of the season. However, did all of those make it? No! You see, while all those songs are mostly great, one rose above them as the best song of a brilliant episode. In fact, the best rated episode I've seen from this show thus far.
We aren't going to the past to learn about the holiday. We're going to learn about you.
Applejack musical numbers are usually quite forgettable, but in the case of The Scenes of the Past, it's her finest hour, as well as Ashley Ball's best vocal performance as Honest Applehorse to date. It drives an emotional spike into your heart as its country twang and symphonic mixture goes hand in hand with the bittersweet tale of Snowfall Frost's past and how it affects her now. While it starts out happy, the tempo and tone shifts into something much more darker and intense, bringing the emotions home before Kelly Sheridan's vocals offer a painful yet powerful and reflective verse to tie the two parts together. It's a song that, if you weren't willing up to, showed you weren't human, as it provided the crux in where this episode turned and became the season's beacon of quality. If it weren't split up into two parts and was more or less a complete song, this would have fought for the top spot without any form of question. But it's great to see amongst an ensemble cast of great songs that Applejack managed to be the star of the musical parade that this episode was.
My spirit of heartwarming present sense is going off. That means that song is coming on. Okay, you know what you have to do, right?
Beg for help, then quit when I get frustrated. Just kidding! Total opposite of that. Got it.
You think he can do it?
When I consider that I'm still in a similar anxious and fearful position to the way that Zephyr once was in Flutterbutter, you'd understand why this inspiring musical number would rank up on here. Yet when I first saw the episode and heard the song in relation to it, it felt shoehorned and completely unnecessary. However, on subsequent listens it resonated with me so much that I couldn't help but love it. Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash's powerful harmonies are beautiful to hear and accent the contrast and emotions that Ryan Bale's Zephyr brings out. First, with restraint accompanied by guitar, strings and piano to enforce his worries, all coming to a head with a lovely orchestral brass crescendo to have it end with you smiling as this once detestable character overcame his fears and became better as a result. Can I Do It On My Own, while understated at times, is a fun yet wonderful song that gets better each and every time I hear it, which means it resonated much more and more, and as a result, got to number 3 on this countdown. Honestly, it's an underrated song that doesn't get the love it deserves as far as I'm concerned, and packs a wallop of a punch while being pleasant on the ears as well, with vocals that are on par with some of the best executed, not just in this season, but in the series as a whole. If there's any song on this list that has worked hard to reach its bronze medal placing, it's this one, as back in June, I'd have never expected it to be here. And it shows what can happen if you give things time to manifest themselves, and this song is a testament to that.
My spirit of heartwarming present sense is going off. That means that song is coming on. Well, I guess now I have to.
For the longest time, the first musical number of the season was going to be my number 1 choice, but alas, it wasn't meant to be. The thing is, that's not going to stop me from showering this emotive powerhouse of a song with the praise that it thoroughly deserves. It was arguably the simplest musical number this show had done at the time, utilising mostly just strings, a guitar, a slow tempo, and Michelle Kraber's incredible vocals to punch into your soul the anguish that Apple Bloom is going through. While it does add other orchestral aspects to add more weight to it as it reaches its climax, it rarely strays from portraying itself as a heartfelt, intense, and mournful ballad that doesn't need to use pomp and ceremony to get its message across, making its simplicity be even more impressive. It's the type of song that made On Your Marks such a sublime episode and made it rank in my top 3 of the season, as it elevated a good episode into a great one that showcased Apple Bloom's growth emotionally that, while having been showcased before, had never been hit such a massive barrier to where this song was needed to amplify it. It's a song that hit me like a ton of bricks when I first heard it, and if not for my number 1 being simply better, this would have not only assured itself on the top spot of this list, but had a fair crack at my all-time list as well. It's just that damn good, and well worthy of number 2 on this list. And if anyone says to me that this isn't one of the best songs that this show has ever done, I am very afraid that we can no longer or ever be friends.
My spirit of heartwarming present sense is going off. That means that song is coming on.
As you may or may not have noticed by my choices, I'm a guy who likes the more emotional songs this series has produced, and this season produced a hell of a lot of them. But my number one choice was one that, in all fairness, I've been waiting for some time, and it surely delivered, because not only was it good enough to take the top spot on this list, but it's now arguably my favourite MLP song of all time. Which means You'll Play Your Part from Season 4 has finally been bested. And I never thought I'd ever see the day that that would happen. To hear Spike's first solo number be a heart-wrenching and uplifting ballad went against all expectations. If it were a rousing rock number with many guitars, befitting of the music we hear in Dragon episodes, then I'd have probably just been really happy with it and moved on. But A Changeling Can Change at its core is much more than that. It's a song that defines how strong Spike's character has gotten in spite of its utter simplicity, which makes it that much more powerful. Its piano, flute and slow tempo give it the space to grow into an orchestral crescendo that amplifies the message the lyrics hold in decrying social ostracization and discrimination as wrong. Kathy Westluck's performance is restrained yet powerful and carries its weight until the end, making it all the more worth it with the great yet equally simple visuals ensuring this tense episode ends with all the ill feelings let out into the open. This song was one that I didn't see coming, and it still packs an incredibly emotional punch now. It's a song that gave Spike's character a watershed moment to be proud of, and showcased how good Dan Ingram's musical composition skills are when making something simple and effective without needing any extra garnishes. It's the type of emotional song that, while executed in prior seasons, never hit such emotive heights and topped its rivals of similar ilk, including today's runner-up, I might add. A Changeling Can Change is a song that I absolutely adore, and hope won't get beaten to the top spot for some time to come. It reaches number 1 on sheer impact, quality, and power. And if Season 7 wants to be remembered by me fondly, it's going to have to create songs that are near to, equal, or better than this. And that is a very hard task to set. I've been Freddie Thomas, you've been people watching, this has been the Top 5 MLP Season 6 Songs Countdown for the CC Network, and I will see you all next time.